Hey everybody, Artifact Mall Talk here, back at it again with another discussion video. And I'm going to be doing a third video on a pointer at the Red Lotus. Because finally, a smart, popular Yugi tuber has spoken. MCO40 has proven my point about why a pointer at the Red Lotus is garbage. The card is indeed trash. No matter what, the card is an absolute garbage card. Absolute garbage can. Trash can. Automatically. Oh man, look at 60 feet. Yeah, yes. Anyways, let's read this effect. You pay 2,000 life points and reveal all cards in your hand. First L you're taking. You're showing your opponent what you have. Automatically. So if you have any hand traps in your hand or not, your opponent's gonna know. If you have like say Ash Blossom in your hand, you want to keep that knowledge unknown and anonymous to your opponent. You don't want your opponent knowing you have that Ash Blossom, that Droll Lockbird, that Ghost Ogre, that Ghost Reaper, that Maxi. You don't want your opponent knowing you have those cards. You just don't. Because you want to be able to catch your opponent off guard. Because if your opponent knows that you have those cards in their hand, they're gonna bait that shit out, one way or another, before they start going all out with their full capabilities. Second weakness of this card. Let's keep reading. Look at your opponent's hand and select one card. Remove that card from play until your opponent starts to end phase. Okay, Artifact Lancia. Boob. That's the first thing I can take care of this card. Artifact Lancia. Second thing, Imperial Iron Wall. Next, Chaos Hunter. Any more questions? No more questions. But don't worry, there's more weaknesses to this card. The fact that the card comes back is bad enough. Remove that card from play until your opponent's next end phase. So they basically lose a card for 2 turns. Big fucking deal. And the next thing. What if your opponent had, let's say your opponent's playing Zodiac, right? They have their traps, they have a barrage, and a rapier. Both of those cards allow your opponent to extend. Now, the only way you could take away both of those cards is if you have 2 Appointer at the Red Lotus. This card is literally reliant on you going first and you seeing this card at the very beginning of the game. That, it's not even early. It's not even early. Very beginning, first turn, going first is what you need to do in order for this card to be a good card. Now, if you have that luck sack where you're able to see this card every turn, every time you play, you end up going first and you see this in your hand, first turn, right away, very beginning of the game, then you play this card because you're apparently a luck sack, deck stacking piece of shit where you stack your deck in order to see a pointer every turn. A guy topped with this guy in the neck? Very good. Good for him. Someone topped. Congratulations. Someone got top 8 at ARGs with this card. Congratulations. You totally went to a YCS or Nats or Worlds and crushed it, right? Sorry, totally not. But anyways, simple conclusion to make from this. Mind Crush, better card. Play 2 Mind Crush in your deck if you think your deck can abuse it. Like Stellar Knights can abuse Mind Crush more than any deck right now. More than Dark Worlds. I'm willing to go that far and say that Mind Crush is more abusable in Stellar Knights than Dark Worlds. Because Mind Crush in the hand, when you play Dark Worlds in the hand where you see nothing but spells and traps, is a bad card. Mind Crush is never bad in Stellar Knights because you're making Trigger every fucking turn. Trigger! The whole board gets bounced back into the Stone Age. And then you can set Mind Crush. Let's say your opponent you bounce back, I don't know, a Dragonic Diagram, right? You could play Mind Crush, call Dragonic Diagram, check their hand to see what else they have. If you have another Mind Crush, you can use that Mind Crush again. Mind Crush is better than this card. This card is a little easier to use, but Mind Crush is better. It may require more skill, but it overall has more relevance towards the end of the game. Like, let's say your opponent's stuck to top decking. They activate. They have no cards in their hand, no cards in their field. They're getting ready to take 2,100 more from your Statonite Trigger on your next turn. And you're probably like, what's this guy's Statonite examples? And I figured just for reference, since I use Statonites a lot in my locals these days. So yeah. And your opponent's probably going to be like, what? Oh. And your opponent's going to be like, oh shit, I got a top deck something. And they draw Fossil Dick. And they're like, yes, I can get my Soul Eating Overraptor and I can win. And they activate that, search Soul Eating Overraptor, and then you Mind Crush Overraptor into the graveyard. And this card is even worse towards the end of the game. This card is actually at its worst towards the end of the game. Because keep in mind, you have to pay up 25% of your life points. It's simple fucking math. 2,000 out of 8,000. Do the math, people. 25% of your life points. 1/4 equals 25% of your life points go into this fucking card. So you're playing 3 Lotus, 2 strikes, maybe even 3 strikes, 1 warning, 3 Cosmic Cycle. I mean, how many life points do you want to give up? And keep in mind, the OTK potential of the decks that you're going against isn't to be underestimated either. Zoo can still do some pretty neat OTKs in Link format. Trickstars have some pretty neat OTKs and FTKs, even without the Droll and Lockbird shit. True Draco can OTK very easily. Cosmo can OTK mad easily. Herald of Perfection Turbo can OTK very easily. Pendulum decks are still very good in this format. And as I've proven with Metal Foes many times over, they can OTK very easily with Infinity Negations on the field. Not Infinite Negations, with Cyber Dragon Infinity being a free negate, once upon a time negate on the field. So you have all these things out there that can OTK. Fluffles and Cyber Dragons can still OTK in Link format. And yet you want to burn out all these life points just to rip cards out of your opponent's hand? No! 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 Don't play this card. Please don't play this card. This card is trash. The fact you have to reveal your hand in order to look at your opponent's hand, it's so bad. Like, you're exposing your freaking goods out for your opponent to see. Literally, that's what I call it. You're exposing your goods to your opponent. Because if you have hand traps in your hand, your opponent's going to know what you got too. And they're going to know how to work around it. Drag Down to the Grave is a better fucking tech card than this trash can. Because at least Drag Down actually provides consistency for your deck. And on top of that, it allows you to reveal your opponent's hand. If you want to reveal your hand too, because of some reason you like showing your goods off to your opponent, then Drag Down is the better tech card for you. Not a Pointer at the Red Lotus. Look at that face. Oh man, that guy is so ugly. I don't know who this dude is, but he's so fucking ugly too. This card, but to summarize every point I've been making in this video, 1, Mind Crush is better than a Pointer in almost every single possible way. 2, a Pointer at the Red Lotus, life point cost is too much. 3, exposing your goods to your opponent just to see their goods is not a good way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's 3. 4, there are way too many life point required cards in the deck in order for you to be able to even afford this in the deck. 5, this card is literally relying on you drawing it at the very beginning of the game for it to even be able to make a difference in the game at all. 6, conclusion, not even conclusion. 6, what we get from this card as well is that towards the middle of the game it's bad, but at the very end of the game when you're grinding into the teeth, this card is an absolutely horrible card to top deck because it is one of these cards that requires such a high life point count. And then 7, On top of that, it is a trap card, so you have to rely on going first in order to set it down for a turn. Therefore, it's not like it can get MST to Twin Twisters or something like that, right? And then for 8, and then point number 8 is, drumroll please, anything that stops banishing automatically makes this card a dead card. If I side deck 2 Lancias for this trash can, you be fucked. Because I'll be able to chain Lancia your fucking card. To this fucking card. And then Mr. Ugly Face over here won't be able to take away a card from my hand. Then point 9, conclusion. Simo was overhyping this shit and honestly was just overhyping this card just because he ran out of video ideas. And then, for the epilogue of this video, 10, don't buy this card, it's a trash can. Have a good day, peace.